I want you to stop for a second, just 1 second. Whatever you were doing, put it on pause. Because what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes is something that most people never find out. And by the time this video is over, you're going to look at your browser completely differently. Not because I'm going to scare you, but because the truth about how you've been using Brave browser is honestly a little bit shocking. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it. So here's the scene. You downloaded Brave browser. Maybe a friend told you about it. Maybe you watched a video. Maybe you just got tired of Google Chrome eating your RAM and your battery and your soul all at the same time. Whatever the reason, you made the switch, you installed Brave, you opened it up, you saw that little orange lion icon, and you felt something. Relief, maybe. Like you finally did something right. Like you finally took a step toward protecting yourself in a world where every single app, every website, every platform is trying to harvest something from you. And I get that feeling. I really do. Because Brave is genuinely a great browser. It was built by Brendan Eich, the man who literally invented JavaScript, the programming language that powers almost every website on the internet, and the co-founder of Mozilla Firefox. So this isn't some random startup. This is someone who understood the web from the very beginning, watched it turn into a surveillance machine, and decided to build something different. Brave launched in 2016 with one simple promise: a browser that's fast, private, and doesn't sell you out. And by 2024, over 80 million people were using it. 80 million. That's not a niche product anymore. That's a movement. But here's the problem, and this is the thing nobody talks about. Downloading Brave and actually using Brave correctly are two completely different things. And the gap between those two things is where your privacy is silently leaking out every single day. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a very good chance that your version of Brave is doing almost nothing to protect you. Not because Brave failed, but because you never set it up the way it was designed to be used. Now let's start with something that's going to sting a little. Open your Brave browser right now and look at your address bar. When you search for something, anything, what search engine shows up? If the answer is Google, then I need you to understand something very clearly. You have installed a privacy browser, and you're using it to send your searches directly to the world's largest data collection company. That is like buying a safe, putting all your valuables inside it, and then leaving the door wide open with a sign that says, "Please come in." Google is not a search engine. Google is an advertising company that happens to offer a search engine for free. And the reason it's free is because you are the product. Every single search you type into Google, every question, every health concern, everything you're curious about at 2 a.m, that gets stored, analyzed, and turned into a profile of who you are. That profile gets sold to advertisers. And those advertisers use it to manipulate your decisions. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's Google's actual business model, and they describe it in their own financial reports. So when you open Brave and type your searches into Google, all that privacy protection that Brave offers becomes completely irrelevant. You've gone around it. The fix is simple, but it requires you to actually do it. Go into your Brave settings, find the search engine section, and change your default search engine to Brave Search. Brave Search is Brave's own search engine, completely independent with its own web index, meaning it doesn't just pull results from Google and repackage them. It genuinely crawls the web on its own. Your searches stay between you and Brave Search. Nobody builds a profile on you. Nobody sells that data. It's yours. Now I know what some of you are thinking. But Brave Search results aren't as good as Google. And honestly, in some cases, you're right. It's a newer engine, and it's still improving. But here's the thing. You can always manually go to google.com when you need it. What you should not do is hand Google your entire search history by default, every single day without even thinking about it. Make Brave Search your default and use Google only when you really need it. That one change alone puts you miles ahead of where you were 5 minutes ago. Now let's talk about Brave Shields, because this is where the real magic of Brave lives. And it's also where most people make their biggest mistake. You've probably seen that little lion icon in your address bar. Every time. You visit a website, Brave Shields is working in the background, blocking trackers, blocking ads, blocking scripts that try to follow you around the internet. And most people see that icon, think, cool, it's on, and never touch it again. Here's what you're missing. Brave Shields has different levels of protection, and the default setting is not the strongest one. By default, Brave is set to what you could call a polite level of protection. It blocks the obvious stuff. But there's an aggressive mode that goes much further. It catches trackers that the standard mode misses, it blocks more ad networks, and it shuts down more of those invisible background scripts that are watching your every click. Getting to aggressive mode is not complicated. You go into settings, you find shields, and you change the trackers and ads blocking setting from standard to aggressive. That's it. 2 minutes. And your browser just became dramatically more powerful. But while you're in there, there's another setting you need to know about. And this one is about something called browser fingerprinting. Most people have never heard of this, and it's one of the sneakiest tracking methods that exists on the internet today. Here's how it works. When you visit a website, that website's code can quietly check dozens of things about your browser and your device. Your screen resolution, the fonts you have installed, your graphics card, your time zone, your language, how your browser handles certain CSS properties. None of these things seem personal, but when you combine all of them together, they create a unique fingerprint, a signature that is specific to your exact setup. And advertisers can use that fingerprint to track you across the internet, even if you're using a VPN, even if you've cleared your cookies, even if you're in incognito mode. Brave has fingerprinting protection built in. But again, you need to set it to strict mode, not leave it on the default. Go to Settings, go to Shields, and set fingerprinting protection to strict. In strict mode, Brave randomizes certain browser characteristics so that websites can't pin down exactly who you are. Your fingerprint changes. You become harder to track. This is not something Chrome offers. This is not something Safari does by default. This is Brave doing something genuinely different, but only if you turn it on properly. Now let's talk about something that I think is going to make a lot of you uncomfortable. And I say that with respect because this is a mistake I see constantly. A lot of people who use Brave for privacy are also logged into their Google account inside that same Brave browser. They're checking Gmail, they're watching YouTube, they've got Google Drive open in another tab. And they think this is fine because Brave's shields are blocking trackers. Here's the reality. When you're logged into your Google account in any browser, Google can track your activity on Google's own services regardless of what your browser does. Brave shields block third-party trackers, things that Google has placed on other websites. But when you're actually inside Google's own apps, you're in Google's territory. They know you're there. They're logging what you watch, what you search, what you click, how long you stay. That's not a Brave failure. That's just how the internet works. If you walk into Google's house, Google is watching you in Google's house. The solution is to create boundaries. Use separate browser profiles. Brave lets you do this, just like Chrome does. Create one profile specifically for Google services. That's your Google profile. You go there for Gmail and YouTube, you accept that Google sees that activity, and you move on. But your general browsing, your research, your reading, your personal searches, that all happens in a completely separate profile with no Google account attached. This way you contain what Google knows about you instead of letting it bleed into everything. And speaking of privacy, let's talk about something that most Brave users don't even know exists inside their browser. It's called Private Window with Tor. And if you've been using Brave's regular private window thinking it's the same thing as real anonymity, I need to clear something up right now. A regular private window, whether it's Brave's private window, Chrome's incognito, or Safari's private browsing, only prevents your browser from saving history on your local device. That's it. Your internet service provider can still see what you're doing. Your school or office network administrator can still see it. The websites you visit can still see your real IP address and know exactly where you are in the world. Private window with Tor is a completely different thing. Tor stands for the Onion Router, and it's a technology that was originally developed by the United States Naval Research Laboratory to protect intelligence communications. The way it works is almost beautiful in its design. Your internet traffic gets wrapped in multiple layers of encryption, like layers of an onion, and then bounced through a series of volunteer-run servers around the world. Each server only knows the address of the server before it and the server after it. Nobody in the chain can see the full picture. By the time your request reaches the website you're visiting, there's no trace of where it actually came from. Journalists use Tor to communicate with sources in dangerous countries. Whistleblowers use it to expose wrongdoing without getting caught. Human rights workers use it to operate in places where surveillance is a matter of life and death. And Brave has integrated Tor directly into the browser so you can use it with a single click. No separate app, no complicated setup, no technical knowledge required. You just open a new private window with Tor and you're there. The window turns a slightly different color so you know you're inside it. And from that moment, your connection is bounced through the Tor network and your real identity is masked. I do want to be honest with you about Tor's limitations, though, because I'd rather you use it correctly than use it wrong and think you're protected when you're not. First, Tor makes your connection slower. That's unavoidable, given how it works. Second, it's not designed for logging into personal accounts. If you log into your Google account while using a Tor window, you've just told Google exactly who you are, which completely defeats the point. Third, for extremely high-stakes situations, dedicated tools like the Tor browser combined with a secure operating system are still stronger. But for everyday situations where you want to research something sensitive, browse without your ISP watching, or simply not hand your location to every website you visit, Private Window with Tor and Brave is genuinely powerful and genuinely accessible. Let's move on to something that most people find either fascinating or slightly bizarre when they first hear about it. Brave rewards. When you install Brave and first open it, you might have seen a notification about Brave rewards and thought it sounded too good to be true, so you ignored it. A lot of people do, and that means they're leaving something genuinely interesting on the table. Here's what Brave rewards actually is. The entire advertising industry is built on a simple transaction. You see, ads, advertisers pay money, and that money goes to the platforms that showed you the ads. Google gets it, Facebook gets it, YouTube gets it. The content creator might get a small piece, but you, the person whose attention was actually purchased, you get nothing. You just get the ads, the tracking, and the creepy feeling that your phone is listening to you. Brave flipped this model. With Brave rewards enabled, you can choose to see a small number of privacy-respecting ads. These are simple notifications, not embedded trackers, not behavioral targeting. And when you see those ads, you earn BAT, Basic Attention Token. It's a cryptocurrency that Brave created specifically for this purpose. The idea is that your attention has value, and instead of that value going entirely to a corporation, some of it comes back to you. Now I want to be straightforward with you. You're not going to get rich from Brave rewards. The amounts are small, and BAT's value fluctuates like any cryptocurrency. But the concept is genuinely revolutionary. And if you accumulate BAT over time, you can use it to tip your favorite content creators directly, bypassing the platform entirely. Or you can connect your wallet to a partner exchange and withdraw it. Either way, you're participating in a system that respects you as a participant instead of treating you as a resource to be harvested. Enabling it takes about 2 minutes. There's a rewards icon in your Brave browser. You click it, you start the setup, a wallet gets created for you, you choose how many ads you're comfortable seeing per hour, and that's it. The ads come as occasional notifications, they don't interrupt your browsing, they don't track your behavior, and every time one appears and you glance at it, a tiny fraction of the advertising value flows to you instead of to a corporation. It won't change your life, but it's yours and it's fair, and that matters. Now I need to talk to you about browser extensions, because this is where a lot of privacy-conscious people accidentally destroy their own privacy in spectacular fashion. Extensions are incredibly useful. They add functionality that the browser doesn't have by default. And because Brave is built on Chromium, it supports Chrome extensions, which means you have access to the entire Chrome web store, which has tens of thousands of options. And therein lies the danger, because a significant number of those extensions, including some that specifically market themselves as privacy tools, are actually collecting your data and selling it. A free VPN extension that promises to protect you might be logging every website you visit and selling that information to data brokers. A free ad blocker might be whitelisting certain advertisers in exchange for payment, meaning some ads still get through and your data still gets shared. In 2023, researchers discovered that over 30 popular Chrome extensions, with a combined install base of more than 75 million users, contained hidden malware. 75 million people who thought they were protected and were actually being spied on by the very tools they trusted to protect them. The rule with extensions needs to be this: minimize them ruthlessly. Every extension you install is a potential risk. Every extension that has access to your browsing data is a potential leak. Before you install anything, read the permissions it's asking for. If a simple calculator app wants to read your browsing history, delete it immediately and never look back. If a tool claims to be a free VPN and doesn't charge you anything, understand that the product isn't the VPN. You are the product. The extensions that I would genuinely recommend are the ones that are open source and run by organizations with no profit motive. uBlock Origin is the gold standard for ad blocking. It's open source, it's run by a rights organization, is another one worth trusting. Bitwarden for password management, open source, independently audited, free for personal use. Beyond that, be skeptical of everything. The fewer extensions you have, the smaller your attack surface. Let me also tell you about something inside Brave that almost nobody uses, and it might be the feature that surprises you the most. Type Brave or flags into your address bar and hit enter. What opens is a hidden menu of experimental features, things that Brave is testing before they become standard. Some of these are legitimately useful right now. Parallel downloading, for example. When enabled, this feature downloads files using multiple simultaneous connections instead of one, which can make downloads 3 to 4 times faster, depending on your connection. It takes 5 seconds to enable, and the difference is immediate. Smooth scrolling makes the browsing experience feel noticeably more fluid. These aren't dramatic privacy features, but they're quality of life improvements that most people never discover because nobody told them this menu existed. And then there's Brave Playlist, a feature that I think is genuinely underappreciated. You can save any video from almost any website, YouTube, news sites, social media platforms, directly to Brave Playlist. And here's the part that makes it actually useful. Those videos can be downloaded and watched offline. If you're about to get on a plane or go somewhere without good internet access, you can save videos to your playlist ahead of time and watch them without a connection. No third-party app, no separate subscription. It's built right into the browser. Brave also has a built-in video calling feature called Brave Talk. It's built on an open source framework. The basic plan is free, and it doesn't require either person to create an account for a basic call. If you've ever needed to do a quick video call and didn't want to give Zoom or Google Meet your information, Brave Talk is there and it's ready. Now I want to do something that I think actually builds more trust than anything else I can do. I want to tell you what Brave is not. Because if I sit here and tell you that Brave is the perfect solution and everything about it is flawless, you'll eventually find out that I was misleading you and you'll stop trusting everything I said. So let me be straight with you. Brave is built on Chromium. Chromium is the open source browser engine that Google created and maintains. So at the foundation of Brave, underneath all the privacy features and the shields and the Tor integration, there is Google code. Brave's team works hard to strip out the tracking and telemetry that Google has built into Chromium, but the dependency is real and it's worth knowing. If the idea of any Google involvement bothers you fundamentally, there are alternatives. Firefox is built on Mozilla's own engine and has no Google foundation, and it's a genuinely excellent browser with strong privacy features of its own. Brave also had a controversy in 2020 that's worth mentioning. It was discovered that when users typed certain cryptocurrency-related URLs into the address bar, Brave was automatically adding affiliate codes to those URLs, meaning Brave would earn a referral commission if the user signed up for those services. This happened without users being told. Brave's CEO, Brendan Eich, acknowledged the problem publicly, apologized, and the feature was removed. But it's a reminder that even companies with good intentions make bad decisions sometimes, and you should always verify trust rather than assuming it based on a brand's reputation alone. The honest truth is that Brave, set up correctly, is one of the best tools available to an ordinary person who wants to take their privacy seriously without becoming a cybersecurity expert. It's not perfect. No, browser is. But it does more, out of the box and with a few configuration changes, than any other mainstream browser you can name. The combination of shields on aggressive mode, fingerprinting protection on strict, Brave search as your default, proper profile separation for Google services, Tor for sensitive browsing, trusted extensions only, and Brave Sync for keeping your data off. Google's servers, all of that together creates a meaningfully different experience than what most people are used to. Think about it this way. Right now, on the internet that most people use, the default is that you are tracked. The default is that your data is collected. The default is that your behavior is analyzed and monetized. Opting out of that requires effort. It requires knowing what the settings are, knowing what they mean, and actually changing them. Most people never do that. Not because they don't care, but because nobody ever walked them through it. Nobody ever explained what was actually happening in plain language without making it feel overwhelming. That's what today was about. Not making you paranoid. Not making you feel like you need to live in a digital bunker, but giving you the actual information you need to make an informed choice about your own data, your own attention, and your own digital life. Because those things belong to you. They always have. You just haven't always been told that you have the option to take them back. So here's what I want you to do when this video ends. Don't just close the tab and go back to whatever you were doing. Open Brave, or download it if you still haven't, and make these changes today. Change the search engine, set shields to aggressive, enable fingerprinting protection on strict, create separate profiles, enable Brave rewards if you're curious about it. Try a private window with Tor next time you're researching something sensitive. Audit your extensions and remove anything you don't trust completely. Set up Brave Sync so your data stays off Google's servers. These are not complicated things. None of them require technical knowledge. They just require someone to tell you they exist. And now someone has. Share this video with someone who uses Brave and doesn't know any of this. Share it with someone who's still on Chrome and thinks switching browsers is pointless. Because the point isn't which browser has the best logo or the smoothest animations. The point is what happens to your data every single day, whether it flows into systems that profit from it or whether it stays where it belongs, with you. The internet was supposed to be a tool that empowers people. Somewhere along the way, it became a tool that monitors them. Brave, used correctly, is one small but real way to push back against that. Not perfectly, not completely, but meaningfully. And meaningful is enough to start with. I'll see you in the next one.